Hello, my name is Matthias Cavodi. I'd like to welcome guys to my channel. Today we're going to talk about Ragnarok. Fantastic story arc. Takes place in Thor Volume 2, issues 80 to 85. There's been quite a few Ragnaroks, but I think this one's like sort of the definitive one. It ends the Thor series that started with Hero's Return. The story itself, like I was checking out the writers, and I'm not too familiar with them. The writers of this is Michael Avon Oeming and Daniel Berman. Those names don't ring a bell. I'm really surprised. They do a really good job. This is a really good story. It's not perfect. There's a couple things that don't work for me, but in general, again, it feels like the definitive Ragnarok story and takes Thor out of the picture for a while from the Marvel Universe. The story starts off with a brief history of Asgard, the origins of the hammer, of Thor's hammer. So we get the retelling of Odin's and his brothers, how Odin commissions the creation of the forge that was used to make Thor's hammer. This forge is super important. It was created by the dwarves. They keep it hidden in a way, and they move it around every once in a while. Like if this forge falls into the wrong hands, even though Mjolnir is super unique, this can be a major issue. So we have the dwarves. They move it around. They keep it hidden, but due to an accident, the location of the forge is revealed to Loki. Loki is ready to enact his ultimate plot of vengeance against Asgard. Like, I don't know what was the situation with Loki before this story. There are not too many subtleties about this Loki. He's pretty straightforward, straight up evil. And what he does is he commissions Surtur to use the forge. He creates a series of hammers. And basically, he starts a war against Asgard. So Loki and company arrive with Fenris, Ulik, I'm not sure what this giant's called, to attack Asgard. They're all sporting their own magic hammers. Obviously not as powerful as Thor's, but they do pack a punch. When Thor's hammer slams against these, it ends up cracking Mjolnir. And the second time this happens, Mjolnir breaks and basically levels half of Asgard. When this happens, the battle rages on. Loki teleports Thor to deep in the ocean where he almost gets eaten by the Midgard serpent. Thor has to actually escape going to Midgard. There he recruits Captain America and Iron Man to give him a hand. This was during the Avengers disassembled era, so the Avengers basically end up breaking up after this time. We get a round 2 of Thor with Captain America and Iron Man fighting against Fenris, Ulik, Loki, this giant that I don't know what his name is. Like one of the few bad things about this story is a lot of characters die off panel, and I feel like this is 5 issues long. I feel like they could have done easily a 12-issue miniseries with this, and it would have not felt it was stretched or have filler. I think they had a lot in this story that they could have worked with. Thor ends up sending away Captain America and Iron Man. Says, look, this is not your battle. This is the final battle of the Asgardians. He sort of knows what's going on. Warrior 3 actually Fenrir gets killed off panel. Stag barely survives. So Thor, working with his forces, start mounting a resistance against Loki. They win some battles. They lose some battles. We get Kurth's death off panel. That's another that's a real shame. Ray Bill also joins in on the battle. Thor ends up going to the World Tree looking for answers. He actually goes through everything that Odin did to get the Odin Force, pulls out an eye, pulls out another eye. It's pretty brutal. Knowledge to stop Loki and his attack and bring back Asgard to its greatness. But what he realizes is that Ragnarok is a cycle. Asgardians go through this. There's so much pain and suffering. And what he realizes, and this story tells us so well, is that there's a group of gods above the Asgardians. The ones in the shadows are the ones that are above, something like that. They actually feed off the cycles of Ragnaroks, of the rise and fall of the Asgardians, the conflict, and so on and so forth. So Thor what he realizes in his big realization in this story is that we have to end with this cycle. And he does something really interesting and super risky by the writers, and it super works. He actually ends up helping Loki bring Ragnarok, end everything, and he's going to find a way of stopping the cycle. He's going to destroy this tapestry that the gods are creating, these gods from above, that the cycle that's tied to the world tree. Thor destroys the world tree. He makes sure that the cycle is broken. Also, fuck you to these space gods, and to liberate his people. But this going on, everyone dies in that final battle while he's going through all of this. And the awesome thing is, after this story, we're going to get Ragnarok. Thor is pretty much going to disappear for a couple of years. The way they bring him back, it's really fantastic. Take away from the story, it doesn't feel like it's pointless. You feel like Thor as a character has grown. He did something really important. He did something that Odin didn't have the balls to do. And it's a fantastic story. So if I've spoiled it for you guys, I'm sorry. It's really worth reading. See you guys next time. Bye.